and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. All right, the first item is to consider changes or additions to the agenda.
I don't think we have any.
Nothing? Okay. And then we'll go on to the next item, which is consider approval of the basketball boys and girls teams travel to Arizona. And would you like to introduce the people we have here this evening and have them maybe walk up here and
Okay.
so we can see them on camera?
So I have Joey Callan representing the boys team. I have Tia is one of our new members of the girls team. Then I have Bailey Anderson, Alina Meyer, Haley Hall, and Lillian Bickford, all members of our state qualifying team last year.
All right. Yep, you're in a good spot. Okay, I would hear a motion to approve the basketball boys and girls teams traveling to Arizona
So are we going to have them present during discussion, or do you want to present before we make them?
during discussion.
Okay, I move that we approve the EHS basketball boys and girls team travel to Arizona.
I second that.
Been moved and seconded, and now we'll have discussion if you would like to share with us.
Well, so we went on our trip for the first time last year, and it was a great experience for all of us. We got down there and our first game, awful, like probably the worst game we played all season. So we get back to the hotel and we're like, what went wrong? And so we had to all come together and figure things out. And our next game, we came back and won. And then we won 2 more games during our tournament. And then we came back and played the team that had beat us initially in the tournament. And we beat them. So we had to really come together and figure out, like, if we're going to travel, how's this going to impact how we travel down the line? So.
And I feel like a lot of people don't get the opportunity to do this, and we have raised enough funds and we're going to continue to raise funds. So I feel like this is something that we should take advantage of since we're given the opportunity to do it.
So I also think that it is a really, really good team bonding experience because like already our team is very close, but like especially after going on that trip, I feel like our bond was like really solidified. And like after that, everyone was so much closer and like no one fought. There wasn't like a single time where there was an argument in the house. Like everyone just got along so well.
On top of all that, it was so much fun. And Arizona, we all had
That's important. That's really important.
and even on top of all the games we played, the team bonding and everything, it was such a good experience for all of us to go and have fun and spend some time with everybody.
On the boys' side, I've been informed that it was great. There was great success on the girls' team, and so I think it'd be a good way to start off with our new head coach this year. A good way to kick off this year's team and leading into following years. And it would be a great bonding experience, very competitive, and just make our team closer than it has been the past few years.
I feel like this would be very good because I feel like last year our boys and girls team wasn't so like close to each other. I feel like this would really make us like connected where we can support each other and make us closer. So.
And we had both some good support each other throughout the tournaments and stuff and cheer each other on. Fans there.
So the girls mentioned they've raised most of their funds. I'm assuming you've raised enough for everyone on your team to go? Or you will?
We pick the top 8 to 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's already, like, they know that going in. All the kids
Okay.
know that going in.
All right. How about you guys?
We're a few thousand off, but we have plans to fundraise. I'm gonna talk to the head coach about that as well. We approved it, I believe, in the ASB meeting. It's being encumbered right now.
Okay.
So after we talk to Coach Josh, I'm sure we can do fundraisers and other money raising stuff.
Because at this point, I think both teams already have their summer camps planned out.
Yeah.
That's a big fundraiser for both of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And any fundraisers you do that involve, the community, be sure you get the word out. People get to know about it because I know people do want to support it.
You guys I have another question, but I don't want to hog all the questions. Travis, you like questions? You got a question?
I do.
Okay. So why Arizona? You guys used to go to Alaska? Now you're going to Arizona?
Oh,
Just here.
I like that.
So why is going to Arizona important?
I'd say it's a little closer, so it's flight fares aren't as much, and it still offers that same bonding and competitive experience at a closer location. And the environment's a lot more friendly to us, for sure.
And actually Arizona is one of the up and coming states for basketball in general. They're putting in one of the new facilities will have 50 courts that they're putting in down there. They are phenomenal. And so they have really geared towards bringing people from all kinds of states into play. And the level of competition, we can actually find competition that helps us without killing us, without us killing them. So it's a
Okay.
great mix.
I think last year we like won by 1 point in one of our games. It was
We got
such a
like a
tight.
17-point deficit. Deficit. And we won.
Yeah.
You've been really quiet.
Because she's new here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why are you excited to go?
Well, also I learned to like know some of the girls, but not really all of them. And I think that just going, as Elena said, it's a great team bonding experience. So you get to know them while still doing something you love while playing the sport. I did a travel tournament with my old school, and that didn't really end well for us basketball wise, but it brought us together as a team, which really helped down the line. So I think that just getting to know these girls going into my senior year, it'll be a lot easier to play with them.
So when we go to state again, then.
Oh, yeah.
Please, you'll be ready. So, well, I just, want to just thank you and thank you for your sharing because it really helps us to know and better understand. And also, one of our things from our strategic plan is preparation for life and the skills and things that you're learning, the team building and the working together and problem solving and even fundraising. All of those things are preparation for life. And I'm just really glad to see that you're taking advantage of this. And I'm glad we're able to help you do that.
And now we can throw in public speaking.
Back to it. Right, good. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, everybody says, why don't you do it? I said, no, the girls can do it.
Yeah.
And Joey can do it now too.
They can do it. You bet. And they did. They did a wonderful job. So if there's nothing else, we will take a vote on this. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. You're on your way.
Yeah. We will leave the meeting as exciting as they are. Thank you so much.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So-
Coming.
Wear a lot of Eatonville stuff.
I'm proud.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're
Right.
welcome.
That was fun. All right, so we'll hear a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. On to hearings of individuals and groups, and we don't have any that I'm aware of. Okay. Then we will move on to reports and presentations with Krista giving us a enrollment and financial reports.
Okay, our enrollment report, so our enrollment has shifted a little bit more this year. We are through April, I've been looking at averages, not just for the month of April, but from September through April. And we are actually short 17.63 students from last year. So a little bit of a drop, and then 14 students short from budget. So, we will continue watching that for the rest of the year and make adjustments accordingly in for next year's budget. And budget, no significant changes in revenues or expenditures, for this month, although our, expenditures continue to outpace our revenues. As we focus on lower class sizes, and student enrichment activities. We continue to draw down that fund balance in support of those initiatives. And speaking of class sizes, for Pierce County, we have the third lowest, we are the third lowest K-3 class sizes in Pierce County this year. And we are below the average, class size by 0.91 of 22 surrounding districts. And that's just for K3. So that's a big deal, that our class sizes are that low,
0.91 being like almost 2 students or 0.91%.
like one student.
Okay. one
Yeah. Almost one student. So that's really exciting news. And like I said, we'll continue to watch that for the rest of the year. The last thing, I have some great news on the audit. Again, audits that never end. So we have our closing audit meeting scheduled for May 15th. We have 2 board members who have indicated that they will be joining the meeting, which will be great, to have a second and third set of ears on that. No further work is needed. We're done with the work, and the preliminary results are showing an extremely clean audit with only one recommendation regards to lease reporting, which is a newer reporting requirement. So really clean.
Nice job. Thank you, Kristen.
You're welcome.
And to your team.
Hard,
I know you guys.
Good job.
all of you, your hard work, all of you work so hard on not only that, but your day-to-day functioning and night to night sometimes functioning. I really appreciate it. All right. On to unfinished business, and I always smile to myself when I see no unfinished business, because there's always unfinished business. You know, we don't have any on the agenda. Under new business, consider approval of donation from Lions Club for the student lunch program.
A motion to approve from the Lions Club.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I just have a quick question. When they donate, some of it, did it go across? This sounds being very naive. Did it go to the entire school lunch program? Does it go to a particular school, or does it?
So when we bring in donation money, we are very clear to our donors of how that gets applied. So we prioritize, graduating seniors so that there are no barriers to graduation. That's first and foremost.
Okay.
But the second priority is then given to free and reduced students.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great question, Kevin.
Okay, any further discussion? If none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay, we'll move on to the first reading of our revised policy on students and telecommunication devices. Do I hear a motion to approve or approve the first reading?
Yeah, I don't think we have a motion to have a first reading.
Okay,
I mean, if the body looks at this policy and doesn't have any changes, we could just move to approve it. But right now it's on the table as a first.
have you had a chance to read it?
I read it online. I just like one more chance to preview it again here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you'd like
And
to
it's-
do that,
and
we
it's
could
a-
vote on it. Otherwise, we can.
Yeah, it's a
Hold on
good
to
time
next
if you
time.
have any questions or concerns. The big concern is that we want to make sure that we have a policy that is uniform throughout the district. And this has been before the administrators, so they've given their feedback and input on it.
And Rhonda and I met with them too and talked over and went through some things on it.
So on the first one, telecommunication devices are turned on and operated only before and after regular school day unless emergency situation exists that involves imminent physical danger or a school administrator authorizes student to use the device. Is that going to take away their use time during lunches or when they do have downtime? I know.
Okay,
a lot of
read the
students-
next sentence.
Yes, good question. Okay, perfect. Thank
That
you.
was a consideration. They
Yes.
wanted to make sure the administrators had, at the middle school level, my understanding, they are gonna say
No,
off
no,
all day. At the high school level until it becomes a problem. If it becomes a problem, they have the right to roll it back. But if they are responsible, then they can have it during lunch as long as the administrators.
At the high school level.
At the high school level, yeah.
Do we need that established in here for middle school / high school?
No, we're leaving it up to the administrators.
Yeah, we leave that up.
This basically reflects what we're currently doing this year, and the middle school is off and away all day. That's kind of their policy. And then at the high school, the kids, now that they're older, they have a little bit more responsibility, but the expectation that it's off during class. And they can have it out during lunch period and passing period.
And they intend to articulate that in their handbook, their policy.
Yeah, their student handbook. That's why we wanted to get it done so they could have it.
I'm happy because this rolls back to how it was when my older boys were in school. And I was very shocked when middle school allowed the cell phones and everything. It changed. I remember constantly being the parent that you got to come pick up your son's cell phone because he brought it to school today.
Yeah, the history went to being able to use them before we got to 1-to-1. Because they were seen as a device to be able to make sure students had access to internets and so on when we didn't have enough computer labs. So now we're 1-to-1. So it changes the parameters of why, in that scope.
Yeah, and it'll make the classroom much easier. I mean, and I'm sure it has already this year by doing that, because that.
And it, we talk about middle school and high school, which is the primary.
Elementary is trying to have.
Elementary is still, it's part of this policy.
So
Yeah, definitely.
looking down at like D and E, it's not really addressed here, and I don't think it's the right place necessarily for this. It's maybe something as a board, we might want to look at like the anti-intimidation, harassment, and bullying. I know I just went through an entire thing, and I hate to be the AI guy again. But purposely creating images and promoting them over phones with AI isn't, some districts are approaching that as even a bigger deal than pushing images that are taken inappropriate, because you're actively designing it for intent rather than.
And AI is so good.
Yeah,
You really
so
don't
this
know.
isn't the right
It's really
place for
not,
that, but it's something I think that
So are
brings
you,
up that conversation.
so are
of-
you suggesting in E that we add some verbiage in there about AI or?
I don't, again, this is
Because
maybe beyond this. This is just about not using the phone, but when we talk, so at the state level, when we talk about AI, it's not, it is a tool. It's like using a calculator.
Right.
However, the new policy from the state for AI districts, it's more of an addendum to current procedures of tools already in use. So maybe we look at it under intimidation, harassment, and bullying. How do we want to address?
Put it in that
Yeah,
spot instead of this.
purposeful harassment with digital images in general or text.
Do you
Because-
see that, I know that they're creating some base policy for AI. Do you see
It's,
it as being in that policy, or do you think it needs to be in the HID and?
I've looked at the one from the state coming down, and I can get a copy for us from the state. I would personally, I think it needs to be in both, but I think we need to address it in the not in use necessarily in the buildings, because it's in education, we'll talk about that later, but in harassment, intimidation, and bullying. I personally feel there's a vast difference between, I take a photograph of Jay and I'm joking around saying it to my friends, and it has no negative context, but somebody else spins it in a negative context.
Yeah.
Okay, could be harassment, bullying, or anything else, but it's borderline. If I intentionally make something that's false and I promote a falsity, my intent is harassment, intimidation. Those are two different things.
Which, and it could be sexual content.
It could be whatever,
It
but
could be just
it's-
an embarrassing situation. It
It's the
could be
concept,
anything.
it's the concept behind the intentional intent.
Yeah.
Not that somebody else spun it that way. It's that my intent was that way. It's like making a meme,
Right.
but I didn't make the meme, but I made a complete false even image up.
Right.
Totally different things. I'm only bringing it up here because I don't think it needs to be in here, because you can make it decide with just phones.
Yeah, so it needs to
So
be
it needs to be in something else. It's just something to be on our
So-
radar.
on our AI as well as in
I
our
would put it in
HIB.
both,
And then
yes.
that HIB would be referenced in our AI. So
Yes.
do you have access to language on that?
I can bring it. Yeah,
would be
it's right now, it's a addendum, basically, a amendment to current rules and use
yeah.
policies, because I don't think they're gonna come out with an individual
No.
piece. They
No.
shouldn't. I
But we
mean,
should take a look
we
at,
need to, yeah.
it would be a really great thing for our HIB group,
Mhm.
they call it, our
Yeah,
anti,
and our civility.
yeah, our
anti-bullying.
civility committee
Yeah.
to take a look at.
Yeah.
Right, and to add that, and then maybe Ashley, could you put that on our agenda? To
And it's just, to me, a little more forward thinking than
Yeah.
if we are going to be able to use a tool like that in school, because like right now, like I said, the International Baccalaureate program and, no, the
Cambridge?
Cambridge, but what's the one we have? Pardon me for my brain.
Oh, yes, not Springboard.
The Springboard, but then the high school version, AP has an AI use component to it. So if we have access to these tools, students are obviously getting access at home. I just think it makes us proactive in what is the difference between an educational use and an intentful and harmful use.
Yeah.
It makes it very
And
intentional,
that's
draws
the
that
way we're gonna
distinction.
get ahead of AI is if we have some.
Yeah, it just draws a
boundaries.
distinction. We're never gonna, I mean,
some-
it's
like,
it's going to be good and evil.
Yeah.
it is, and we
So-
need to show accountability.
I like that. I think that.
And I go back to intent,
Yeah.
you know, purposeful intent. There's always accidents, but when you sit at home and you purposely make something, vastly different, vastly different.
Yes.
Yep. So anyway, I didn't mean to sidetrack. I
No,
just wanted
no,
to make
that's
sure. it
fine.
was
That
okay.
isn't sidetracking.
What do you think then about this
I
document?
think it's fine. It's what they're doing now this year already, and it leaves it up to the.
Well, why don't we,
builders.
why don't we leave this and then we can always,
Are we
Change
at a
it.
point where we feel like we can, should it be a first reading or should we move on this so that they can get it in their handbooks and get those things moving forward?
I read it online. I'm personally fine voting on it now. I like that it's above, like if we ever lose an administrator come in, it's not specific to each building. It stays broad.
No.
It stays if they get the big, yeah, so I'm fine with it, but
They
I,
can change mid-year.
They can
you know,
do- yeah.
we can
behavior
always
stuff changes
amend it.
and yeah, and
I read
and
it too. I remember having the question and
to
then
be
answering it. And then I
clear to
asked the
anybody
question
who
again.
might, God forbid, listening to us at home right now. It does have carve outs for obviously emergency use and things like that. So, it's nothing different than what they're doing now, so.
All right, then we're okay. If we are okay, then we will go ahead and move on it. And do I have a motion to approve
I,
policy number 3245?
I give motion, what did I just say there?
Just say, so moved. That's-
So moved.
Second.
So, sorry, I always forget. My brain's
No, it's
mush
just
by
the
the end of the
easiest way
day.
to say it. You can
Yeah.
really pull if you want.
Okay, do I have a second?
Yes, I second that.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right. We did that. Then we're on to superintendent's comments.
Board Chair Gilliard, Vice Chair Kissenberger, our members of the board and guests. As always, there are so many exciting things going on. I just can't hardly wait for this part of the meeting. We know that the Lions Club, as we mentioned, offered $3,700 toward the negative meal balance. So we have, as we mentioned, and we're so grateful for them and for their support. But I have more good news about school lunches. And that is, you probably know that as we speak, we're just finishing the second year of a 5-year grant from the USDA for our community eligibility provision, CEPA for short, wherein students at Columbia Crest Academy get breakfast and lunch, and there's not a pay involved in that. So happy to report that this coming year now we will add both Weyerhaeuser and Eatonville Elementary School, not as CEP, but their free and reduced price lunch count is such, and we've filled out enough. The parents have filled out enough forms as such that there'll be what's called a direct certification, and so or direct cert. So that means it'll be a year by year basis, but for the next year that will really be a great thing for our families who may be struggling with, money for meals. So that'll be all 3 of our elementary or in CCA.
And does that mean that 40% or more of our student population is qualifies for free and reduced lunch? That's the threshold now. It used to be 50 and they rolled it back to 40. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
so CEP operates differently than this program.
Okay.
So CEP requires a direct certification percentage,
Okay.
which is different than the free and reduced percentage that Jay's talking about.
Okay.
We are in the process of confirming that with our child nutrition manager at OSPI. We've gotten we've kind of gone back and forth because, originally our child nutrition manager at OSPI said we didn't have any schools that qualified. And then ESD says, yes, you do. And now I'm seeing that maybe just one of them. So we're working on confirming with child nutrition to make sure that we for sure are. And then there's going to be a lot of things that have to happen to put that into place in the system. So there's a lot of back work to do, but certainly something to look forward to as we deal with all of these negative lunch balances.
So and if we qualify, then that means CCA, nobody pays for lunch and breakfast. It's free across the board. And then it would be the same for the other elementary schools. That's amazing. Yeah.
And you're right, Ron, it is 40% or greater. Yep. It's a House Bill 1238.
And that's a federal house, that's a federal allotment, which is great.
So that's great news. The second thing is that I'm really looking forward to our school board study session on May 29th, which will be looking at outdoor facilities. That'll be held here at the high school. What's exciting about that is we're working on getting people there who are experts with tracks as well as turf or fields, so that the public can hear about what possibilities there are. They'll also know more about when that could become a possibility and the different ways that that could happen. Some ideas sooner than later, and then they can just find out a little bit more also about our playgrounds and kind of where we're at with that. Again, we've already done tours of all 3 elementary schools for playgrounds, and we got some great ideas. And now we're just waiting to hear back from the consultant on specifics. So that's some more great news on that. The next thing is that I just wanted you to know we continue to try to expand our current partnerships. So we're always trying to expand upon and create new partnerships. One of our trusted partners has been the Nisqually Land Trust, and tomorrow there'll be a tour down at their headquarters, Olympia area, to just talk about future possibilities. As you may remember, we had our Key Club from Eatonville High School that went down and helped plant trees, and some other groups that have been down when you leave town and go down into the valley there. And so we'll just continue to work with community members, community organizations, state, regional organizations to kind of expand out on that. So that's a great thing. The next thing is that one of our law enforcement officers, Pierce County Sheriff, utilizing those coolers for fundraisers through our PTA, PTO, and booster clubs, so that the money that's raised from the raffle on those, and Ashley's been working hard on this, will be able to help fill the buckets with different items for emergencies. And this is again a continuation with the good work that our safety committee is doing, and the training that we received last summer as an entire school district staff on what to do with an intruder and other emergencies. So really excited about that as well.
And those aren't just regular coolers, right, Ashley?
They're, he donated a ton. So we got 3 electric coolers that are they retail for about $1,000. And then we probably got about a dozen or so different sized coolers. They're kind of a Yeti style cooler. And so we basically just funneled the donations to our PTOs, our parent teacher organizations at all 3 elementary schools, and they've agreed to work on using those to fundraise. I think they're probably going to do raffle tickets, and the funds for those will be donated back to the district in order to fill those safety buckets. Check them out at May Day. They're going to have a booth at May Day selling, Community Day selling raffle tickets.
Great
That's
idea.
a great idea.
And so support
be
that
great,
cause.
yeah.
It won't go to just the elementary schools. It'll be to benefit all buildings and all students.
So that's another great thing. With our strategic plan, I love the fact that already in our school board meetings, we're starting to see with different items that's coming out, what part of our strategic plan where we are addressing communication, transparency, community and belonging and such. And I applaud you on that as a board. Right now, we're working hard to get around to all of our schools before the end of the year to kind of go more in depth of what the school, what the strategic plan looks like in general, but also how to start to personalize that by school. Sally Keeley is heading that up, but it's members of our strategic planning team, and it's just fun to watch how close they are for all those hours that they spent together and how well they work during the training. And I will tell you, it's already starting to pay yields. For instance, today after the meeting was done at Eatonville High School, I had one of the ELA teachers come up and she said, "This is great. One of the requirements for graduation is to do a research paper, and we've told them how important it is, but now." She took right off portrait of a graduate, and she said, "But now we have the rubric for it. We can show that, and we can just put that right into practice right away, and they can see how this all fits together and why." And so she was just ecstatic about it. And so I asked, and I need board permission on this, but I asked if, toward the end of the year in May, I'm going to go and listen to some of them. I've been invited. I invited myself to go visit and hear some of those. But I think it would be a great idea to have a couple of students come here and maybe just kind of show how they're already utilizing the strategic plan and in the research paper. And plus, it's always fun to hear students, present. And so with your permission, then we'll go ahead and have that toward the end of May for that. So, yeah. Yeah, it's great to see that we don't just have a strategic plan that's going to sit on a shelf for years, that it's going to be everywhere. Also wanted just to point out, show and tell, I guess, is the Bethel Print Shop, we are starting to get these. So we have several of these going through 2 schools.
All right.
And we'll have our mission and our vision. As we're starting to see, we also have posters for each of the schools, similar to what you might see in here, at a fraction of the cost of what they ordinarily would cost, I might add. And so these can go on fences, or they can go up. We're going to bring this to Community Day. We're going to have our table there from the district office, just so that last year we were kind of promoting bus and transportation, as you recall. But this year we're promoting our strategic plan and just do a lot and how that would work. So again, Ashley setting that up, I think, good for that. And the other part, I guess, is the question I would have for the board would be, we can put these up now. We can put them up in the fall as we kick it off with parents coming back to school. Probably these are not banners that you would leave up forever because they'll get tattered and torn and there's the wind and such. So if I can just receive some direction as to when you'd like to see these actually placed on fences and, at our different schools and things, or we can also put them up for now and take them down, or however you direct me is how we'll proceed on that. But it's just exciting to see everywhere we go that that the strategic plan is being used as kind of a guide on how to proactively promote student achievement and wellness. So, yeah.
I think maybe mid-August and, welcoming all the kids back and the parents as they come to enroll and do different things as school starts back up. That would be a great time to then run them out until they are done.
You got it. Okay,
I think that's a good idea.
And for now, if it's okay, we'll get our posters up in the schools, or
Yes.
we can also, and then we can also take them down and, have people be a Vanna and kind of walking across the aisle, as we get back to the open houses or such, but we'll make sure that that's there. Yeah, okay, great. I did ask Ashley if she would send you out an invitation to the upcoming board meetings. We had our first one today, so it's a little bit of a trial. So I didn't really have anybody there for the first day, but now that they're practiced and feel a little more comfortable, feel free to join us. And again, that went out, right? The invitation for the school for the strategic plan of each of the,
Rollouts, yeah.
roll out with each of them.
Yes, I'm working on getting those sent out. I
Okay,
didn't
so
know
it'll
the
be sent
first
out.
one was today, so,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be sent out to you if you want to join, that would be great. And if you are there, then I'll have you begin and then I'll join you on that. So that's a great thing.
And we each have adopted a school, so if we could do that school,
Oh, yeah.
and maybe if you could do others too, but I mean,
What school am I?
what school are you? I think you're at the elementary. You're at the middle.
Okay, perfect. High school.
Yeah.
I think then I missed mine. Sorry. Was that the high school today? Who was today?
It was, actually, it was just myself.
No,
Oh, it was just your son. Okay.
It hasn't been done yet.
Oh, no,
It's scheduled.
so the
Sally
the
sent the
strategic
schedule
plan
out.
rollout,
Yeah.
so CCA is the first one and
Yes,
then.
it came out to everybody.
Yeah, so I put all those
Yeah,
on
we
my
all got it.
calendar today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if we
I
did
did
our
get that.
schools that we've adopted, and then if somebody else wants to go, you know, one other board member, that's fine too.
I'll have to, yeah, I'll look at a date.
Okay.
Time, yep.
Okay, that's great.
Let me know.
Yeah, no problem.
Ashley, do you have written down who has what school?
I don't because it changed and I don't think it was ever relayed to me.
I know.
Okay.
We-
I know Ashley has Warehouser.
Yeah, she has Warehouser, Travis has Eatonville L, I have Columbia Crest.
Middle school.
Middle school, high school.
Okay,
Sorry, Rhoda.
It's all
I'm
right.
gonna write it
We'll go
down
back.
and get in trouble.
I'll send those out in an
We
email.
kind of redid them when we got the new board members.
Yes.
Every time it changes, it's like messes with my brain.
So,
I'm happy with any.
Me too. I just need to know which one I need to be at.
And I
I
know
didn't
that,
mean to appoint, I was asking
Yeah,
for
No, points away.
volunteers,
No, it's
but,
okay. No, that it was.
but I like,
I was
if you
aware.
have an involvement and, you know, that worked for you, you know.
Yes, I was notified of my school, I mean, Jake told me, so I just assumed you all knew, so I apologize, but.
Yeah.
that was- yeah, but
No, I thought.
It's all good.
too.
Yeah, oh, yeah, well,
and then just last but not least, of course, we're excited about the Community Day next Friday, May 3rd. And that will be, starting at 11:30. We'll start to have, our, different tables and activities. The kids will be promoting their involvement in different organizations and such as they have last year, as they have for years past. And, again, we'll also have a table. And then at, 1 o'clock, then we'll be in the big gymnasium and we'll be looking at the festivities as we have in the past, and you'll be delighted by the students and their different involvement. So that's all I have today.
So Sally actually is the one that sent the email about the times.
Yes, she sent the
Yes,
email out.
yes.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So I was
Sorry.
confused. I'm like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No,
I-
that's okay.
I saw one.
Yeah, when I was there this
Yeah,
morning, I
Sally sent
realized
out.
that we probably had sent out, so I asked her, so yeah, it's Sally, not Ashley.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, we don't have any student reps here this evening, so we will have board comments and we'll start with Karen tonight.
I just want to say how nice the room looks. Every time we walk in here, it reminds us or reminds me of our mission. And it's like,
Yes.
I can see improvement, like somebody's in here busy, I'm assuming maybe Ashley, and making it all pretty for everybody. So, but it's looking amazing and the posters up, I really, really love what we've done. I also want, so the young lady, she touched on as I was reading through the agenda tonight and everything at home. The one like the young lady touched on as far as the basketball being an opportunity. And that was something that resonated with me. It's like not all kids get that experience.
No,
And that's a
absolutely.
huge, huge opportunity for them. And so, I'm glad that we're able to approve that and for them to be able to go. And my hope is that someday the whole team would be able to go. And so all of them get to experience it together. And then, as I was at home today too, just that seeing what's going on with Yelm, I wanted to thank our voters again
Yes,
for passing our levy and caring about our kids. And, just that we were able to put aside differences and that the voters believe in what we're doing here. And so hopefully we can live up to that.
It's a good one. So thank you. That's
And
great.
thanks to Frank Brown for all those coolers and
Yes.
everything. He's put all his kids through here and I'm just glad that he continues to support our schools.
And the company I forgot to mention, but I want to shout out the company. It's Dometic Coolers and they're based out of Sumner. They're
Oh, nice. So
manufacturing
they're
plant. So they're a
local,
local
too.
community that
Cool.
partners, I guess, very strongly with the Pierce County Sheriff's Department.
All
So
right.
All great
Thank
to
you.
know. Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Debbie.
That's it for me for now. Travis?
Yeah, no, thank you very much for about the Yelm and our voters. I've been trying to follow Yelm, but I missed it today. So thank you. That was a great comment. I appreciate that. Thank you for the audit work. And I hope that the community knows the fact that having an audit means that we're doing well with our money. And that's kudos to you and your staff. And I cannot say that enough because that is the accountability piece. And for, it's important for our staff to understand that too, that if we were doing something we weren't supposed to, it would show up. And that is the ultimate in accountability. So thank you. Really, that's really it. Thank you. The students presented today. It's great. I'm hoping it'd be really neat, just an idea. As I was going to talk to Sally about this tonight, but at Community Day, if we ever had a chance to have like a table that also has curriculum out on it, it's a great opportunity for the community to view.
yeah, Sally, we talked about that a little bit today.
Yeah, I know it's hard. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been in that room to know that that's a hard action, but it's a great transparency piece. Just one more piece.
Great idea.
Yeah, it's just another, especially as we're adopting, especially now with
anything that we're adopting.
some of the new laws coming out, it would be
Yeah.
a real help.
Well, I mean, do we have anything right now that's open for public viewing? I mean, in our process, I can't remember.
Well,
if
ELA
it's
is
closed.
going through.
Is it still open?
But I think it's open, but it'd still be nice. I just
Yeah,
still believe in
I mean,
that, having it out there.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking.
I'm
But
just
it's-
saying, even
Even if
now,
it's digital, having Chromebooks open with it on there, if it's, and it's last minute, I don't mean that. I just have always wanted
great
to,
idea.
when I was in it, I wanted to retake back Community Day to some of those sense of like, what are we doing in the school? Not take it back from the community, but like.
We actually
what
talked,
are we doing?
curriculum
So-
came up today as
Oh,
a
cool.
possibility. We're trying to
So-
think, what can we share? What kind of information can we have at Community Day that would be, helpful for people?
And it's the biggest event that we do, that
Right.
the community
Thousands,
comes to.
thousands of people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that would be a
absolutely.
great opportunity and I think highly respected by the community.
Well, and having someone there to answer any questions that people have is also.
Absolutely.
And Christian, Jim just messaged me. Christian Tonkinson is going to be doing a library booth as well.
Perfect. I mean,
So that might
that's
be a great
always
place
great.
to incorporate some of the curriculum. into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is the last minute, and that can be very daunting, but it's just another thing looking forward as we go with the strategic plan out of my mind.
Yeah.
But I just appreciate everything everybody's doing. Thank you. That's it.
It's a great idea. Yeah, Deputy Brown, I'm so grateful for all that he does for our students. And he's been such an important part of our security team over the years, so that's been great. I'm grateful to the boys and girls basketball players who came out and presented to us. I love having the kids, so thank you for that. Today, right before I came to this meeting, I was on an interview board for the new executive director for WASDA. And Paulette sent us the survey link, so
I filled it out.
please, good, thank you. A reminder to do that. I spent last weekend at a conference for the legislative positions for WASDA. So that was where we, as board directors and representatives, talked about all of the positions that will be putting before the body for our General Assembly, which is coming up in September. And we, as a board, we get one elected delegate that can vote. But as a board, we collectively decide what we want to support and what we don't want to support. So if anybody is interested in participating or knowing more about that, I would be happy to share that information. I will be going as a delegate because I will be going to it because I'm on the legislative committee. But if somebody else would like to go as our voting delegate, then I'm happy to also do
I
that.
would encourage somebody, it walked in both those, I probably shouldn't go as a voting delegate, just
Yeah.
because I'm crossing
Depends
out.
on when it is, I'd like to
So-
go with that.
Okay. And they'll be sending out all of the proposals here pretty soon. So, And then the last thing, the mayor reached out and there are additional grant monies for Safe Streets to Schools that might help us get some of our sidewalks for our kids who live within that 1 mile radius. So if you as board directors have, you know, a spot that you think that we really need to look at and address, would you please share that so that we can make sure we get that in the grant proposal? If you know an area, like I'm thinking Eatonville Cutoff, there's no sidewalks that go down
To Hillegas.
from Hillegas down,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And those kids are within our walking or catchment.
Do they walk from?
Well, there's a
Hillegas?
bus that stops there, but they are within that 1 mile radius. So,
Okay.
but because there's no sidewalk.
Yeah, that would be a great place
Yeah.
for it. And I think Lynch Street, out by the elementary school. I don't know how busy that road is, but I don't think there's any sidewalks out there.
And we also we put in a proposal and I think we're going to be funded for a planning grant to do an overpass on Lynch. So that we don't have our students crossing the street because, you know, during sports and stuff, we don't have crossing guards there.
Yeah.
So we've got a planning grant. That would be a very, very expensive thing to pull off. And it's also over that state highway, but I'm very grateful that the mayor has been working with us and I've been working with Representative Barkus to try to get that funded so that we could, that would be.
Would massive for.
You know how many kids that we have get in accidents right there because they're driving down to baseball practice or to wrestling practice or whatever down there. So, so that's what we have going on legislatively at this point.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, and I just have a couple of things, mostly for the board members. We need to set a date when we can we can go over our board and district goals. You know, we kind of sidetracked that a little bit, so we need to get back on that. So
do we want to set that right now?
If you can, if you're able to, look at your calendars and see if we've got a date we could do that.
What is the general length of time that it takes in your past, in your?
Boy,
can take a couple hours.
it can take a couple hours. I would schedule a couple hours.
I would, yeah.
No, we're not like 2 days.
No.
No.
Okay.
Like a half day kind of type of a thing.
All right.
And days or evenings work best for you?
I'm
You're
flexible.
flexible.
Generally.
How about you,
Travis
Travis?
probably.
I'm pretty flexible. Again, it just depends on
What
length
day.
of time and the length of day, and I can always move things around, and I can be somewhere. If there's a room, I can disappear,
Hop
do a
out
meeting and
virtually.
come back. So,
Okay,
you know,
let's,
if we're looking at, obviously evenings are always the way easiest, but if we want middle of the day, it's totally fine. So.
Yeah.
When would you like them done by? We can work backwards.
yeah, that's what we need to do is figure out.
We shoot for the end of May, so it gives everybody time to work it into their schedule.
It would be nice to have them done before the last meeting in May.
Okay.
I know May's like, I'm in.
I know May.
I'm gonna
was-
have
How
to do,
about Thursday?
I'm gonna have to do day.
You need to do
May.
May.
In
days.
May, I'm probably gonna have to do days. My evenings are.
Yeah.
Thursdays work good for Travis. What about
Well, I-
Thursday the 16th?
Thursday, the 15th,
16th.
16th, I'm sorry. Okay, back to it.
I'll put it on
Thursday,
my
May
calendar.
16th.
Yeah, that's open during the
At
day.
this
so
point, I'm wide open.
The evening is booked, but
I am
What have you,
good.
are you good on 16th?
I am absolutely golden on the 16th.
okay, me too.
Me too.
It's a sign. Would you prefer in the morning or in the afternoon?
I'm always a morning person, but that's just me, but
I agree.
Okay, so say morning, get it done.
9 a.m. to 11
9 to
a.m.
11?
let's do it.
Is that enough?
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, I'm booking it right now.
All
I
right.
cannot believe that it was that easy. It's never happened.
It's never been that easy.
I'm kind of a big deal. I just move things around.
There you go.
All right, that was easy. All right, and the other thing that I have is,
That was easy button.
I will be sending out to all the board members. I did get the assessments
Oh, good,
from WASDA. I got them sent to me.
good.
And so I will be sending those out. I'll be forward, I'm gonna forward her email to all of you. Her name's Christine. She's from WASDA. I'm gonna forward her email out to you and then it'll be sent back to them. And they do the calculations and everything for us. So, but they're a board self-assessment of an individual.
Okay.
And those can be tricky your first time you do them because there's just a lot that you haven't
don't
been
know.
aware of that's
Right.
been going on, and it's okay
It's
to
okay.
say you don't know. Or, and there's been times when we sat down as a group and did it, so we can have conversation around, this is what that means. If you want to schedule that, we could do that as well.
We could.
Or feel free to call.
Okay. I mean, if we want to sit down together and do it, we've done it both ways.
Just take a look at it first and see.
Okay,
Yeah.
why don't I send it out? You take a look at it and let me know and we'll.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And feel free to give any of us a call.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. All right. And I really appreciate too that I see that they're putting a frequently asked questions section in the our newsletter on the levy, so we can keep people apprised.
That was nice
That
to
was
see.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you go to the levy section on our website, then you can see that where we've
I really,
updated that.
there again, transparency and.
Allison and Krista put a lot of work into those frequently asked questions.
Thank you.
Maybe we have more we want to add, let us know.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah,
I appreciate it very much.
That was nice.
Yeah, it's great. It really is. So, okay, well, that's all I have. And so if nothing else, we will adjourn this meeting at 7:52. My husband will be shocked.